way. Oh, what's love got to do? It's got to do with it. What's love but a second-hand emotion? What's love got to do? It's got to do with it. Who needs a heart when a heart can be broken? What's got to do? It's got to do with it. What's love but a sweet old-fashioned notion?
What's love got to do with it? Oh my gosh. Good morning, guys. Good morning. Good morning. Just getting down to Tina Turner. What's love got to do with it? That song on, bit rude me singing first thing in the morning. Well, I put that song on this morning because it's a question of the question. Today is all about ask yourself. So the lesson for Mystery School is ask yourself. Why have we got that? Because quite often we don't ask yourself. We're so used to in this 3D paradigm asking all outside, and that affects the eye chakra. The eye chakra is looking for everyone else's outside opinions. Oh, what do you think? What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? And that then affects the solar plexus, and that affects transformation and confidence. That affects the pelvis, and that affects your foundations. That affects your feet, direction you're going in. And I could go on and on in the body consciousness. So ask yourself, and I love the Tina Turner song of what's love got to do with it. That's part of it. Ask yourself, is this going to put me in a love state? Is this something I love to do? When we ask ourselves, we go, wait, what's this for me? Which is very bones. We're doing a lot of medical intuition today, and your body will be receiving healing, as I say, these body consciousness. Bones are all the core beliefs. And when we ask ourselves, what is our core belief, our core value? What happens is it stops things like osteoporosis. Osteoporosis is like the thinning of the bones, as I call it. Like when I see it, looks like a mesh. It stops osteoporosis. It stops osteoarthritis. Arthritis part is bitter about somebody else's beliefs. So when we ask ourselves, ask yourself, yeah, do I really feel like doing that? And then ask more questions. No. So if I said, do you feel like cleaning the house? You probably might go, no. Or Jean said, don't do it. No, using Jean as an excuse. Ask yourself some more questions. Why don't you feel like doing it? Well, because I really feel like at the moment, I just want to have half an hour in the sun reading my book. Now imagine if you did that and you had the time and it all worked out. If you did that half an hour reading of your book with something you want to do, you're satisfying your intellect, the left brain, you're satisfying your stomach, fulfillment, and you're getting vitamin D, D3 outside, then what happens is you have more energy to then go and clean the house. Because then you'd say, yeah, I've read my book. Yeah, I might go clean the house. And you might put on ABBA, Dancing Queen, have the headphones on and just scoot around cleaning the house in the most amazing energy. Ask yourself. Quite often when people, I give a great example. You go into a change room to try on the jumper, the dress, the pants, whatever the outfit, and you ask the salesperson, does this look okay? Then ask them. Ask yourself, did you feel great in it? Because when we listen to other people's opinions, it's fantastic, but it's their point of view, it's their truth. Asking yourself perhaps into your point of view and your truth. So if you put it on, you're looking in the mirror and you're checking it out and yourself, do you feel comfortable in it? Well, yeah, I felt comfortable in this t-shirt. This long sleeve t-shirt I bought from a golf shop. This golf shop have some great personal training gear. Goodness me. So I felt great It feels good. It's light. It squishes up into nothing because I wanted something to travel overseas that's light and thin, and I can put another jumper on. Yep, feels good. Does it look good? Good. Want it squishy, squishy tight? It's good. Do I like the color? I ask myself. White. You quite can't see it on Zoom, but it's white with gold sparkles. The more I ask myself, the more I am solar plexus empowered. Ask yourself. I'm going to go to Tina Turner's song that I was just singing before. Full credit to Tina Turner, not credit to my singing. Ask yourself, what's love got to do with it? A lot of people in business will go and do things all paradigm because they're going to do it for the money, got to do it for the money, got to do it for the money. See, I work on new paradigm ever since I started the business a couple of years ago, 25 plus years ago, a couple of years ago. I do it for the service. And I ask myself all the time, if I create this, the 10-point Merkaba, because nobody could see they needed the kinesthetic form. If I create this, how will it benefit them? Okay. And it takes a lot of money to create a product from scratch, researching it, seeing what it's like, looking at return investment, all those sort of business concepts. So I asked myself, what will be the benefit of someone receiving the 10-point Merkaba and holding it? Then I asked myself, what do I want to make it from? What is the colors? What, you see, I'm asking myself, no, the clients were asking for it many, many years ago. I asked myself, what does it need to be? Because when I ask myself, then I get the truest, purest form, highest vibration of me, bringing into the quantum into me to deliver on. Now, some people will call that concept higher self. I don't. Because higher self goes, oh, it's over there. No, I'm here. Bring everything to me to deliver. So let's go crystal, because I love crystals and pet rocks. Some of you might like them too. When you go to a crystal shop or crystal wholesaler or whatever it is, oh, I ask myself, which crystal is coming home to play with me today? And I pick it up. And I don't look at the meaning. That's me. I don't look at the meaning and go, oh, this one. I love the shape. Oh, I love the feel. It's heavy. It's a heavy rose quartz heart. It's heavy. Feels really good. Really gooded. Yeah, that's great. I ask myself, yep, that's one. And then I look up the meaning. I always ask myself, again, this is so related to eye chakra, avoiding, seeking answers outside of yourself. So ask yourself right now, what is it that you need today to make your day amazing, delicious, fabulous, fulfilled, easy, flowing, magnetizing, attractive, all those adjectives? If you ask yourself that, you get the answers. So why don't you, if you're walking, writing, sleeping in bed, whatever you're doing, ask yourself now, what is it I need today to make myself feel delicious, attractive, abundant, prosperous, fulfilled, satisfied? So because I ask myself, I already have the answers. For me, straight away, after this masterclass, it's a walk. When I get my exercise in, because I've got to stick with my rituals. I don't do routines. Routines to the brain is boring. It's rituals. So once I do this, walk. And in that walk this morning, I don't want to listen to audios. I don't want to listen to anyone go blah, blah, blah. It's got to be doof, doof. I really feel like I need some movement. It's got colder here all of a sudden in Queensland, and I need some movement, and I want to like sing in my head. That's going to make me fulfilled. From there, I'm going to come home and do my journals. 6 journals. I chose not to do them before the masterclass this morning. That's going to make me fulfilled. I'm going to fill myself up So I ask myself, what's going to make me feel good? When I do that, if I fill myself up, then I've got more to fill and service other people. Ask yourself. Ask yourself when you're at a menu, and this can be really tricky for the gallbladder people. Those that want to procrastinate, people please, and make it perfect. How many of you can relate to this? And you go to like a smorgasbord or a restaurant or a menu, a restaurant, and you go, which one? There's an abundance of choices. Which one's the perfect one? That's not actually asking yourself. What you're doing is you're looking for the perfect one. It's got to be perfect in taste and color and the right price. And you don't want to offend somebody else because they can't afford what you can afford, or you can't afford what they can afford. Can you hear all the blah, blah stories in your head? That's limbic brain. Now we're going to go back to gallbladder, people pleasing, procrastinating. No, if you ask yourself, gallbladder, you put yourself as a priority and you say, Bazinga, I'm going to have the mango. You guys know I love mango. Everything relates back to mango. Or I'm going to have the spaghetti carbonara. Or I'm going to have, I wouldn't have that, but whatever it is, I'm going to have that. Or you read the menu, which sometimes I do. I read the menu and think, I don't want that. Because I've asked myself, going to the restaurant, what do I really feel like? Check on the phone, especially if my son or husband are driving. I check on the phone, their menu, and I go, I don't like anything there. I don't feel like that. I feel like a big bowl of steamed veggies with lemon juice. So when I ask myself that, then I ask the waiter, is it possible to get a big bowl of steamed veggies with slice of lemon on the top, please? Or let me ask for you. That then taps into law of attraction manifesting. I ask me, I then ask externally, they externally ask someone else, they come back and say, sure, got it, got it. Ask yourself, do you really want to answer? Now, this is from module 5, opening doors. Do you really want to answer them? Because part of the training in module 5 is very, very, very fifth paradigm. I have a right not to answer. I have the right to ask questions. I have a right to keep things to myself. So ask yourself, when someone says, well, how much did you spend on the credit card? Ask yourself right in that moment, do I want to answer? Oh, I'll tell you in a moment. Might be a second. How much was that? Ask yourself, do you want to answer? You see, it's the most solar plex empowering thing ever. It helps the mouth, gullibility, communication, thyroid, bestest friend. As I said, you guys are getting a healing process as I take these body consciousness. When we ask ourselves, wait, does it feel right to answer? Sometimes I'll get people private message me, and I don't know whether it's because I'm in the public eye and they feel like they have a right to ask, which they do. They'll ask me all sorts of things. Jen, how much do you earn per week? What do you charge for? How much did it cost you to make the medical intuitive cards? They have the right to ask. And I ask myself, do I answer? No. Then I do it. Because I have a right not to answer. But I ask myself, does this feel good? I'll go back to Tina Turner's song. What's love got to do with it? So I ask myself with intention, is it loving, lovable, loved, and loved? Because that's one of the codes to secret success. Is it loving, lovable, loved to me? And if I don't fulfill that stomach, I don't feel satisfied stomach. And then I could get resentment, nipple chakra, gallbladder, bladder. And so I ask myself, is this a loving thing to me? And sometimes saying no is very loving. It may offend, upset somebody else. That's my intention. Again, this is from module 5, opening doors. It's not my intention. It's never my intention to offend anyone. So I've been asked to collaborate with someone. And in that and I've only just started collaboration and joint ventures. I've never done them before. It didn't feel right. And I asked myself, when she approached me, I said, can I get back to you? I needed to check in on myself, which is what I do when I walk. I tell people when I go for a walk, it's always in nature because that's my psychologist, psychiatrist, counselor, therapist, etc. Gives me time to ask myself. And in that space, when I ask myself, is this going to work for me? Not the little old Jean. Anyway, the little Jean that would once upon a time in fear just go, so not doing that because that would always get me into unpleasant situations that were not lovable, loving, love, and love for me. So I ask myself first, I'll get back to you in 24 hours. Send me the proposal, send me the contract. Then I ask myself, does this feel right? Will it work out? If they're doing bananas and I'm doing apples, will it be a match? Is it going to take too much time out of what I normally do? I always ask myself. And still today, people will ask, Jean, where's the podcast? I said, yeah, where's that podcast? Because when I ask myself, and even my team, one of my team members, some of you met, has seen behind the scenes, Jean, it's time to do the podcast. I ask myself, is it time? No, not yet. No. Jean, when are you going to? Yeah, I ask myself, it's not time. It's just not time. My secret codes to manifesting book. I wrote that in 9 hours, April last year. I was ready to launch it. I would have had a book, like finished, edited everything in 4 weeks. And, I'm a high achiever. I love to break records and all those sort of things. And then when I asked myself, it was no, it's not time. I wrote it so quickly, people are not going to feel the energy. But when I did it for me, then the energy comes, no, it won't be ready for them either. So when you ask yourself, things flow. Because what you're doing is you're creating a container around you. I don't believe in protection. I don't believe in white light protection. That's third dimension. Fifth dimension, what do you need to protect yourself? Sage, white light, and all the rest of it. Plus, I don't work sage very well. Me, I can go cleanse, done. Done. I ask myself, is this going to be right? Doesn't feel good. Is it lovable, loving, loved, love? What's love got to do with it? When I do that, I put myself in a container of this ball of love and check in. No, no, not at the moment. Again, from module 5, opening doors. No reasons, excuses, explanations, or justifications. Yeah, but I need you to tell me why. No, thanks. Because when I ask myself, no, that's justifying who I am. There's no need to do that. And if they have a problem with it, they have the problem, not me at all. And some of you know, I say to you, please don't explain, justify, give excuses, reasons, or whatever. You can't come to an event or whatever. Empower yourself. So I even give that to you. Just go, it's not possible at the moment. Awesome. Great. You'll know when it's time. Like I said to people when they come into Egypt, you'll know the time to come because every time it's different. You'll know the time to come to Mexico. I can picture you next year. You'll know the time. Ask yourself. And I get people saying, hey, Jean, when do I book another medical intuitive session? I say to them, I don't know. I'm not telling you. You got to ask yourself. God, it's the most liberating, empowering process ever. So take a breath right now. If there's been a situation, experience, problem, supposed problem, a thing that's been playing on your mind right now, ask yourself. Ask yourself, is it true? Is it true? Something I teach in modern medicine, Mayan. Is that true? Not true. It's not true. You're an idiot, stupid, dumb, hopeless, can't do blah, blah. In fact, you could ask yourself, what is the way I can make this possible? Not how. Those on millennium calendar, don't use the word how. What would it take? This is my one. What would it take to make that happen? What would it take to make medical intuitive cards? Oh my gosh, people at me all the time. Can you make oral cards? No, being a stubborn so-and-so, that's knees. Stubborn. I didn't want to because I'd go, why do you want that? You want that. So it took 5 years of creating, designing, testing, looking at, this is before AI and chat GTP and all the other things that you can use now to make them. So it was 5 years. What would it take to make that? Well, I want to check out some clients and say, hey, if I make some, can you tell me what you like them, etc.? What are the colors, the graphic designer, all those sort of things. What would it take? I asked myself. So today's lesson, and as you know, it's not just today, we're adding on with all the series of Mystery School. Ask yourself. This week's practice is ask yourself. Ask yourself. Ask yourself in the mirror. Ask yourself while you're walking, while you're brushing your teeth. Check yourself. The most empowering thing ever, 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 ever. So what we're going to do right now is share golden hearts. What is your golden heart that you learnt from today or sparked a liker for you today so that we can all learn? Because when you share, we learn. I learn from you as well. I'll go around the Zoom. If you want to unmute yourself, that would be fantastic. If you want to pop it in the chat, I can read it out. If you pop it in the chat, you need to put a Y there, so it gives me permission to share. So let's start with Leona, Cherie, and Pauline. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here.
Good morning, everybody. My golden heart this morning is when I ask myself and I can't get myself an answer, then I can ask myself, why can't I give myself an answer? And just keep asking myself.
Easy. Perfect. We all have the answers within. And sometimes people will use the cards, which I use the cards such as, but I do it very quickly. Oops, I can't pick up the card. When I'm shuffling the medical intuitive cards, which I do the night before, what do you want me to know? Right. What do you want me to do? Healing card. Oops, can't see. Healing card. It's really quick. Quick, got it. That's what I need for today. Learning lesson, healing, done. If it was more where you could ask cards, whatever cards, I use my own oracle cards of, okay, what's going on, which I don't tend to do anymore because I ask myself, hey, what's the real story? What's the real story? And see, I go for what's the real story? What's the hidden secret? Medical intuition. Boom, it comes in. So beautiful, Leona. Cherie.
I haven't been asking myself. I just realised.
Beautiful. Beautiful. It's so empowering to ask ourselves. Pauline.
Pauline. So it was a good reminder of keying into my intention, and one of my intentions has been to put all my affairs into perfect order. So yeah, it was a good reminder.
Beautiful. We'll go Lou, Julie, and Andrew.
Morning, Jean. I had a situation occur where someone asked me to collaborate with something that I'd, in their world, let's say, that I had been doing previous that I had stopped doing. And I literally said no. And then I was like, why? Okay, yes. And then I thought, why did I just do that? I'm doing that to please her. And I had stopped it for my own reasons. And so I then contacted her again and said, actually, after thinking it all through, I've decided that the answer is no. But thanks for thinking of me. So,
Bravo. Perfect. Which is, as Melissa's put in the chat, I don't have to justify myself. And when we say just, I don't know why my AI is going thumbs up. That's not me, by the way. When we check in on ourselves, I just got I'm just going to check on something and then I can give you an answer. And we check on ourselves, which might be whatever you do. Have a sip of tea, a big breath, a cigarette. That's my old habit, was have a puff, ask myself. Then we don't have to make excuses, reasons, justifications, justify, blah, blah, blah. So beautiful, Lou. Let's go to Julie and Andrew. Thank you, Melissa, by the way.
Good morning, Jean and all. Sorry I was late attending. I know it's time, and I'm allowed to ask myself. Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful. Those that did the medical intuitive 5 days healing or the manifesting with medical intuition, it's permission. Give yourself permission. It's the most empowering thing ever, ever, ever. Beautiful, Julie. Beautiful. Andrew.
Oh, good morning. Yes, I think it's important. Yeah, for me, it's to remind me to give myself time to ask myself at any moment, what do I feel like? What is my answer for this right now? And then from going within me first, then asking. I like the example for what you wanted with the vegetables, and then going, oh, I wonder if that's possible. And then so you know what you want within, and then you can then express it from a base of what you want rather than what other people's opinions are.
Oh, that's beautiful. And especially Andrew brought in survival. If we're running on survival, which can happen in autumn and especially late April, May, adrenals, that's survival, and we just keep filling and doing. We never get a chance to check in on what do I want and ask ourselves, because we're running on adrenals. Let's go Kim, Christy, and Trace.
Morning, everyone. Mine is I had the right to answer. I never thought that I had the right to answer, so thank you for that.
Yeah. The module 5, which is a retreat, when people learn these lessons from mystery school, it's like, what? I have the right, because some were told as a child, shh, don't ask, don't speak. And in fact, when I was burying my mum at 16 years of age, I had somebody come up to me and say, now don't cry at the funeral, it doesn't look good. What? So when we had to put Zach down recently, I'm lying on the floor with Zach, bawling my eyes out because I had the right to do that. And my husband tried to say to me, I said, shut up. I was very grieving, excuse the language, and the bed started crying. It gave permission for my son to cry and my husband to cry too. So we have to write as well, definitely. Let's go to Chris. Chris, while you're unmute, Dee, I'm going to go to you. Thank you so much for saying the why. Golden Heart is a reminder for me that I can ask myself, as I've forgotten to ask myself, yeah, we forget the most important person. Beautiful, Dee. Hey, Dean, what do you think? And then we eye chakra. No, let's give everybody else. Beautiful, Dee. Chris, if you can't answer, unmute, darling, just pop it in the chat if you want. Trace, let's go to you.
Morning, Nadine. Morning, everyone. For me to trust myself first and do things when it feels right for me, and when I'm ready, because when that happens, things for me flow so easy, and then it's all on. And it's freedom from there. So yeah.
Trace just said it all. Thank you, Trace. Thank you, darling. Let's go, Bonnie, Rach, Steve, and Tim.
Morning. My golden heart this morning. I always ask myself, I always have a dialogue with myself, and then I realize, just tuning into this, that there's this part of me that's so external path that
Oh, honey, we can't hear the last bit. What did you say?
Can you hear me now?
Got it?
Okay. Yeah, I realized just listening to this that there's this aspect of me that still is seeking validation from external services or external sources, I mean. And it's good because, that's getting added to the list of completions now that I'm actually having this awareness. So, yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful, Bonnie. And because we're in autumn, lovelies, is a time of completion. What do I need to complete? Those that done Millennium Calendar, remember, yes, it's about manifesting, but it's also the soul evolution. We're about to go into the chrysalis and winter. Let's go to, I think it was D. Was it D?
I think it was
Rachel. Rachel, yes.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. I'm loving all the golden hearts being shared, but the biggest one takeaway for me is I don't have to justify myself to others. Thank you.
Pleasure. Absolutely pleasure, Don. And it is, when we start justifying ourselves, we actually disempower ourselves. That's where people will say, I gave my power away, which I don't know what that means, but it's like, why do I have to justify? Oh, it's because I've got to wash my hair and blah, blah, blah. And I got no money. You don't have to say you don't have money, you can't afford it. Stop, because they're affirmations. Stop it. It's just like, thanks. Easy. Let's go to Steve. Oh, excuse me, Steve.
Morning. Mine was, what does it need to be when creating something?
Can you say that again? What was it?
What does it need to be?
What does it need to be? Can you explain that a little bit more?
Asking self, what does it need to be, rather than seeking answers from outside of self. Will they approve?
Okay. I'm asking for a reason, if that's all right, Steve and everybody, because it's the word be. And quite often we say we're a being, not a human doing. So Steve has picked up on what do I need to be. Is that what I'm understanding, Steve?
No. As a creator, instead of creating something that, this was my interpretation of, instead of creating something that they, quote unquote, will approve of, I would ask myself, what does it need to be, and be empowered in that, and what the answers that come from that.
Okay. And what's really important here is, if you notice, I'm asking myself, I don't know what that means. I'm asking then Steve, what does it mean? Which then can help all of you because he's teaching all of us. But in the asking of myself, I can hear myself going, see, I wouldn't ask that question, but it's right for Steve. And so when it's right for ourselves, whereas I would ask, what would make me feel great? That would be my question. He's asking, what would it need to be? So it's really important to always, for all of you, to use your own language. And you can ask the other person what they mean if you don't understand this. So Steve, thank you so much. Amazing. Let's go to Tim.
Morning. Mine would be, make choices for me and don't apologise for it.
Yep. Some of you know that if you've come to my medical intuitive courses or other events, the whiteboard in physical, we have the word sorry. And someone says sorry, your name goes up on the board. That brings up old stories of, I'm in trouble with the teacher. Sure. So I say to people, you don't have to apologize for being yourselves or what happened. What you can do is say, thank you. That's it. Thank you. You don't have to apologize. Sorry, I can't do that. Sorry, that won't work. Now, I know sorry is taught, and this is another lesson I won't share here. But you can ask yourself, it's okay. Was I okay in that moment? Am I all right? Am I all right? Am I okay? And then you don't have to apologize. It is massively empowering. It is a very new paradigm. A lot of people get very challenged when they come to my events and they hear this and it's like, what? So Julie's got, my head is always talking. I think everyone says, Julie. I never talk with myself. There is constant noise. I never stop to ask. Thank you for what would it take to do this? Beautiful. So, super souls, remember the lesson today and this week and for the rest of your life is ask yourself. But what are you going to ask yourself? Just check in. The question will come. It could be, what would it take to make? Does this feel right for me? Can I have a bowl of veggies with lemon please? Me? And ask myself, hey, do I want mangoes? Oh my God, yes. Answer's yes. Of course. Have the bestest time asking yourself because you are the only ones with the answer. It's called self-empowerment. So much love to you all. Make sure that you tune into all of our other events, whatever it be, and keep spreading your magic. Love to you all. Bye.
Thanks, Julie.